Hello everybody, Manual Man here again, giving you an update on the CRX. I'm pretty much almost done with it. Um, I got all the trim on, I painted the rims, kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I had to wait in the mail for a couple clips that I had. It's kind of sunny and kind of bright right now, so not that, it's kind of hard to see, but a lot of glare. But this thing's turned out pretty damn good. Everything, I did it all by myself. Everything's done. I got new amber lenses. I don't like that clear shit. I don't like that racer clear nonsense lens shit. I like kind of OEM part kind of stuff. So that looks a lot better. But took me maybe about a month. That's kind of shiny and dark over here. Damn sun's still kind of rising in the morning over around here. But yeah, this thing's looking pretty good, man, for what it is. So pretty much the cost of this thing was really not that much. I probably spent a little bit too much for the car buying it, but it's hard to find these things. So I spent in the beginning, I spent $2,000 for the vehicle. Had the B20 B put in already. It was already in there. If you saw my other videos, you could see how tore up the front end of this car was, and it was white, and it had a lot of issues. The paint on the bumpers were just caked on. It was a pain in the ass to get that shit off. It was 2 layers of paint, one factory, and also one crappy job that this person did or whatever. But I got this thing pretty good, I got roto slipstreams on the car. That actually came with the vehicle when I bought it. Like I said before, I went to junkyards and got some trim molding pieces. The only thing that doesn't really match the vehicle, really, is when I went to go pick up these moldings at the junkyard, right here. This molding right here is very hard to find, and unfortunately, it is not an 88-89 molding. It is a 90-91 molding. So you can see the difference of size right there. It still fits in the same spot, but it just doesn't have the thickness of the 88-89 molding. So I'm on the lookout for those 2 moldings, because unfortunately they're not the right one for the car. But at least it makes the black line. Let me get out of the sun. The sun's just too goddamn bright on this side here. No license plate on it yet. I'm waiting for new plates. I live in California, so I'm waiting for some black plates to come in. I think that'll look pretty good on this car. So basically, the money that I spent on this thing was under $3,000 total. Paint, parts, pieces, clips, things coming in the mail, new fender. That left front fender is brand new. That had to come in the mail. But everything else here came on the car, except some molding clips and stuff. Had to wait in the mail to get that. But all in all, man, it's a pretty damn straight vehicle. There's a couple little things I got to do, like paint this little section right here. I haven't done that yet, or I think I'm just going to paint that black and blend it in black instead of just painting it green. There's some window moldings here that I need to do. I'm waiting for the mail, but to put those in properly, the window actually has to come out, so I'm kind of hesitant on that right now. I'm just gonna maybe enjoy the vehicle. But inside, all the little parts and pieces, are pretty much there for the vehicle. Yeah, the sun is kind of glary, so it's hard to see. But pretty much I got everything in. Got the windshield in. It's a brand new front windshield. Just little bits and baubles and stuff, and just trying to get this thing to go. But for someone that's wants a little light little vehicle, man, I'm not a young man, so I'm not in my teens, I'm not in my 20s, and I'm not in my 30s. So you can guess how old I am. I'm not a young dude, but I like shit like this, so that's just the way it is. So If anyone's looking for something to get into, I suggest, a little Honda Civic from 89 to 95, probably around there, a little CRX from 88 to 91. They're relatively cheap, and if you wanted to do engine swaps and buy brand new-ish motors, you can get JDM motors for, with 50 to 60,000 miles on them for about $500 for a non-VTEC. A VTEC, you're looking at around $3-4 grand for a JDM one with about 50,000, 60,000 miles on it. But for a B20, with everything attached with the intake minus the transmission, you're looking around $500. That's pretty damn good, man. I mean, I have to say, for the cost of these parts, if you want to upgrade, it costs nothing. So if you're interested in getting into like a little fast little thing, mind you, it's front wheel drive. This thing just spins wheels like it's going out of control. But if you're in the market for looking for something cheap and to work on yourself, it took me about 3 weeks to get it to where it's at right now. Barely any money, and I suggest looking at these little Hondas, man. Years ago when I was a kid, I used to think these things were just throwaway cars. I think I said that in a video before, and they just didn't have any character at the time, and it was just, these cars were just get them, beat them down, break them up, and chuck them. That's how it was. Just throw these things away, and I've done some. It's just nowadays, this thing's 30 years old, and they're kicking the pants now. They don't have any driving aids. There's no airbags. There's no nothing. No safety anything. There's no safety markers inside the car telling you not to do this and not to do that. I kind of like that. It's like a true car that you can drive and be a driver's car. Even though it's front wheel drive, it's a different beast. It doesn't handle like rear wheel drive cars like the majority of my vehicles are. But I gotta tell you, man, this thing's still a kick in the pants. This thing is straight as an arrow. The hood is original. That black hood that's the hood right there. Everything's the same. There's nothing different. It's just I just fixed it and cleaned it and sanded it and bondo what it needed to be bondoed and make sure all the rust was gone. Things tend to put back together pretty damn good, and it's a pretty solid vehicle for the price that I paid entirely for this vehicle. Like I said, the rims, the slipstreams, they were, it's kind of hard to see because this damn shadow, there it is. But the slipstreams that already came on the car, but the original paint was so messed up on them, I had them sandblasted, and I painted them myself black. I'm just telling you that this little car is just pretty damn cool. So if someone's trying to get into, a little racer or a little fun little project car, pop the hood here. I got that fixed too. That was, the wire was all busted. I had to put a new cable in to get that to go. But I haven't done anything with engine bay yet. But it's pretty solid. Things are. I don't have a air intake on it yet. I haven't really been driving the car because it's not legal to drive right now. If I get pulled over, police will take this thing away from me at the moment. So just kind of sitting in my driveway until I get the legalities of this thing ready. Unfortunately, I live in California, and pretty much this is just no. Swapping motors and this and that. But there's ways around it, kinda. And I'm on the process of doing so to get this thing legally on the road and drive it around, because it's going to be a track car. But yeah, it's pretty solid. I haven't touched the bay at all. The engine bay, I haven't touched nothing. It's exactly the only thing that I did do is I fixed the exhaust leak on the header. There was a metal flange that was hanging up on this one particular piston right here, this one right here, this guy, and it wasn't sealing right. And I was, guy says, cheap eBay header, it's warped and blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't know. I pulled the header off and I took a straight edge to it. It was pretty flat. It was flat, so I didn't understand. Then I finally looked at the block and there was a couple flanges impeding it. So whoever put the header on, it was just exhaust leaks up the ass. So got the Dremel, ground that thing down a little bit, put the thing in, put a new gasket in it, a real gasket, not the shitty, crappy eBay gasket that came with these headers. I put actually OEM gasket, and once I filed that piece down, it worked out pretty damn well, and there's no more exhaust leak anymore. Things were, plus fixed everything, make sure all the hood latches thing, everything works great. The lights work, all the blinkers work. Bumper looks pretty badass for what it is. I actually opened up the grill a little bit on the two corner areas right here and over here. Cut those open a little bit. You know, they're supposed to block the look of the horns, but fuck it, cut that shit off. I still got to do a little paint on the inside and get that white out of there. But all in all, man, this thing's pretty freaking straight. I'm pretty happy with you know, my rattle can job. Mind you, this is a rattle can job. This is not a professional paint job. You know, as you see, as I showed before, you know, there's quite a few layers of paint here. There's also a clear coat I put on it. I have not wet sanded it. I think I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm done with it pretty much. There's some, like I said, there's some window molding pieces I got to take care of, like this back molding piece right here. This area right here needs to be taken care of. I haven't done that yet. Make sure, you know, I pulled out the moldings of the windows right here. They were just rotted to death, and they just look like shit. I yanked them out. It looks a lot better without it in it at the moment. But that is the update on this little CRX. And if anyone is trying to get involved with a little, you know, a little bit more power, have a little fun little car, a light little vehicle. I mean, this thing's super, super light. You know, they don't make cars like this anymore. And you know, it's 30 years old now. It's officially a classic vehicle. So, you know, they're getting far and few between, and they're still semi-cheap. And if anyone's trying to pick one up, I suggest, if you're interested, you know, start snatching these things up, man, because you know, trying to find one that's really unmolested or undestroyed or you know, racered out. This one was a little bit, you know, riced out a little bit, but it wasn't. The body and everything was pretty straight on this vehicle. So that's the reason why I bought it. I was looking for, you know, months for a little Civic, little 89, 88 Civic to 91 Civic. I was looking at those and CRXs. So everything turned out pretty well. You know, I just looked and looked and looked, and finally found one. And the guy wanted a little bit too much money for it. I talked him down a little bit because it had some issues. Yeah, I mean, it's still got a couple little issues, but man, the thing mechanically is sound as a rock. And yeah, so if anyone's interested in looking for a little Civic, CRX, or something like that, man, I suggest you snatch one up as quick as possible, because they are disappearing quickly. A lot of them are in junkyards. A lot of them just got destroyed. And you know, it is a really fun little car, man. You know, going back to when I was a kid, you know, you realize, like, wow, man, this is what we used to drive when we were kids. So, you know, it's just a kick in the pants, just fun as hell. Oh, and you know, most of all the trim pieces, like the back mud flaps right there, I found that at the junkyard. You know, you go buy that on eBay, you know, they want like $100+ for that. That cost me $5. $5. If you have a little bit of patience and you know what you're looking at, you know what you're looking for, you know, and also, you know, do some alerts. The door is open right here. You know, if you're looking for parts, you know, if you're looking for parts, you know, do a pick apart or whatever you have in your town or whatever. Do their app and their notifications. So as soon as a car comes in that of your year, it will notify you on your phone, and you can go there immediately and go get it. Because what these guys are doing is they go, and as soon as they get the thing, they chop the thing in half and take half the car, you know, and then sell it on this and that or whatever. So yeah, you got the damn lawnmower guy. So I'm gonna quit this video. The sound's getting ridiculous. So anyone's manual man out, and you know, hope everyone enjoyed the video. And this car is pretty much finished until a new motor kits in or whatever, and that's pretty much just what this project is going to be. I'm not going to be doing too much more updates on this vehicle. because pretty much is what's going to be. I'm not going to sink a shitload of money into this thing just because it is what it is, and I want it to be sort of a budget build, and that's that. So, okay, everyone, Manual Man out. Leave a comment or subscribe or whatever. I don't care. This is only for, you know, info for people that are interested in doing whatever, so I could care less about whatever. But if you want to, go right ahead and make a comment or subscribe or whatever. I always got something going. The next probably video I'm going to do is my 41 Ford. I haven't done a video on that at all yet. So I'll do a video on that here soon and get people interested in that vehicle, because that was one of my first things that I did right there, was the 49 Ford back there. And you know, it's just me. I like a variety of things. I'm a variety guy. So everyone, Manual Man out.